In this video, I spent 100 days in Pixelmon. Today I'm going to catch and train an all-fire type team. The goal of this video is to assist in global warming by beating the glacier gym. With that in mind, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We hop on the server and see our choices of starters on the screen. We have a wide variety of starters in front of us, but for now, I already have one in mind I wanted for my team. As I appeared in spawn, I jumped around in excitement for my new journey. I threw out the first member of our team, Torchic. He must have been just as excited as I was, because as soon as I threw him out, he wouldn't stop walking around. As I was about to head out, this guy was crouch spamming in front of me, which as we know is the universal way of greeting in Minecraft. He seemed like a cool guy, so I used my fishing rod on him and started dragging him around. I did contemplate on whether or not I should take him with me on my journey, however, I don't think kidnapping is the way to go for this one. I don't think he took being dragged by my fishing rod very lightly, as he challenged me to a battle as soon as he got out. With his Zankus going up against my Torchic, it was a pretty quick battle as my Torchic didn't have any powerful attacks at the time. After he won, we battled once more, but this time it was against his Marsh Stomp. Since I was in a huge disadvantage against his Marsh Stomp, you can probably guess what happened to our fried chicken in that battle. After the battle, I explored the spawn area. For those that are new to the channel, there have been some changes in the server. You can see wonderful builds like those giant flowers, the new and improved Poke Center, the Poke Lab, and the battle tower. It was absolutely stunning inside, and as my Torchic was healing, the Nurse Joys and I had a friendly chat with them nodding along to what I had to say. With that out of the way, we also paid a visit to the new Poke Lab. It had a very sciencey feel inside, and it looked really futuristic. As I passed by the battle tower, I couldn't help but marvel at how great it looked. In the battle tower, people can get great and useful rewards after battling the trainers inside. The last building I wanted to show was this Pokemart, which now has a giant Pokeball at the top and is being managed by this extremely handsome man. Well, enough with the tour for now. If you want to know more about the changes in the server and see some great buildings and amazing Pokemon, you can join the server by watching my 30-second tutorial or by following the steps in the description below. Back at spawn, I saw this trainer who just started out as me with a Sprigatito as her starter. So we had a battle to see which one had a better starter, but since Torchic had the type advantage, Sprigatito didn't stand a chance. She was a good sport about it, and it was a pretty awesome first win. After that, I got a good view of this new giant Lunala build near spawn. It looks amazing as it towered over the build. This guy suddenly appeared behind me though, and brought up his Vaporeon. I would make a joke here, but I don't want to get demonetized. He also had an Ampharos and an Alakazam, making up quite a solid team. I paid the Pokélab another visit only to be jumped by this dollar store Kyogre. And I am not picking on his wishy-washy. This guy literally called his wishy-washy dollar store Kyogre, which was the funniest thing I saw. After hydrating my Torchic a little too much, I go to the Poke Center because someone needed help in evolving their Carablast. While our trade was successful, something was wrong with his Carablast, and that was that it didn't evolve after trading. Luckily, we can check how to evolve Carablast by using the /wiki feature. This can be used by anyone on the server to check information about any Pokemon. We found out that he needs a Shelmet to trade with the Carablast in order to evolve it. Unfortunately, neither of us has a Shelmet with us. Since we hit a dead end, we traded back our Pokemon, and before I went out, I saw the trainer back before with her Sprigatito. I challenged her to a battle, and since I had the type advantage, I defeated her Sprigatito again and again and again and again until she had to run away. I followed her because I wanted to apologize for beating her Sprigatito over and over. When I reached her at the Pokélab, I apologized appropriately by burning her grass cat once more. With my conscience now clear, it was time I finally set out to build my team. While I was going around, I noticed this guy who kept following me. He seemed cool, so I let him accompany me on my journey. As we were running around, we came across this rare dino in the wild. There are a lot of rare creatures running around in the server, so it made me wonder what other rare Pokemon we could run into on our journey. After roaming much more, we saw this town and decided to check it out. I noticed that the town had its own Poke Center, so I went inside and was shocked by how amazing it looked. If I ever built my own town, I would certainly want a Poke Center of my own as well. There were a lot of magnificent builds in the town, but the absolute best for me has to be the stadium. It was so big inside, and holding a tournament here would be awesome since the server does hold tournaments frequently, and it is open for everyone to join. When I got out of the stadium, I saw the town's nether portal nearby and I jumped in. The portal was wild, as it was located inside a nether fortress. It looked like the owner already explored it too. When I went back in the portal, something surprising happened as I was suddenly at the nether portal of my old town. I got hit with a wave of nostalgia and decided to take a look around. Well, that was the plan until I saw a Pokemon I have never seen before. Lechonk here looks so small and adorable, and my eyes just followed him for a while. So after making some bacon, I checked my Pokédex to learn more about this new Pokemon, but it seems like we need to catch one to really learn more about it. Visiting such a nostalgic town gave me the sudden urge to build a new one. A new and modernized town where people can explore and even stay in for a while. After reminiscing for a while, it was time to continue my journey. I then suddenly saw this Pokestop, which will be very helpful. In these Pokestops, we can get items such as Pokeballs, EXP candies, and other items that will prove to be useful for anyone. After that, I saw this Zorora and thought that it would be a good idea to fight it since Torchic was close to evolving. After I won, Torchic finally evolved to Combuskin. This is a chicken who won't be standing down without a fight. After evolving Torchic, I stumbled on this Knackley, which was very cute, so I wanted to catch it. But then my partner got to it first, which made me second guess how good of an idea it was to bring him along. To clear my mind, I went ahead, but seeing these Magikarps flail on the waterfall helped. Right near the waterfall, I saw this Roly-Coly. Turns out there was a silver lining to all of this, so after lowering its health, I threw a Pokeball at Roly-Coly and luckily caught it. Now that we have finally caught the second member of our team, I got even more hyped for our journey. As Crew and I were going down this mountain, we saw the evolved form of the Pokemon he nabbed from me, Knacklestack. It looked so small and cute, but it had a higher level than my team, so I did the most reasonable thing possible. I used Combustion to kick Knacklestack until it was unconscious. With that impressive feat of strength, I was ecstatic when I saw this Colossal because it would be a good addition to our team if I caught it. I quickly challenged it because I was afraid Crew might catch it again before I do. However, Colossal's flame was too much for Combuskin and Roly-Coly as it defeated both of them. Since I couldn't beat it to submission, I had to try a different approach, which was to catch it without lowering its health. Luckily enough, all it took was one Pokeball. Look at her. She is going to be unstoppable soon enough. It wasn't long before we found the fourth member of our team too, as Ponyta was just sunbathing. I forced Ponyta into my ball with style, and I gotta say I love the new animation for catching Pokemon since it's so smooth. With more than half of our team set up, I set out to get more materials. While doing so, I saw this abandoned building from the distance and decided to take a closer look. While the exterior has seen some better days, the interior looked well kept and cozy. It could use some renovations, but it looked amazing enough that I even considered staying there for a while. However, I had to keep moving forward if I wanted my team to get stronger. It felt like I had been climbing numerous mountains and going through forests. Luckily, it didn't last much longer as I came across this village that had such a relaxing atmosphere. What I didn't expect was that the grass gym was in this town, almost as if it was tempting me to burn it all to the ground. As I was exploring more of the town, I encountered this Chestnut. I thought it was a wild Pokemon, but when I fixed the camera angle, turns out it belonged to a trainer. After I lost, I decided to go back to spawn. When I got back, I got jump scared by this giant Eternatus behind me. It looked so cool and intimidating, and I honestly just wanted it. While looking at Eternatus, I suddenly got challenged by this player. I accepted since I was interested in seeing what kind of team they had. They had Greninja up against my Combuskin, and used a Water Shuriken to put my Combuskin in a deep slumber. After bullying two of my Pokemon, Solgaleo came out in place of Greninja and shattered the ground beneath Colossal and Ponyta. What a terrifying yet amazing team. Without a doubt, there are a lot of dedicated and strong players on the server. With that, the show must go on as I kept moving forward, and when I stumbled on this nice flat area, I instantly thought this would be a good place to build a new town on. I would not be able to forgive myself if I just left this area alone without doing anything. So by using F3 plus G, I can now see the chunk borders. By typing in /claim and selecting profile 1, I now own that chunk. A great trick I love to use is by typing in /claim toggle particles so that I can see the green particles showing me the chunks I owned. With that, I claimed even more land fitting of a town and flattened the area by breaking the law of physics by covering holes without any kind of support under them. Maybe with this power alone, I can rival the god of Pokemon himself. Not gonna lie, if I did everything on my own, I'll never reach the glacier gym, so I asked Krua for help. Thankfully, he agreed to help. While filling up the holes, Krua had a hard time getting out, so I appropriately trapped him in a hole. Jokes aside, I also put up this temporary house so I can leave some of my items inside. And with that, it is done. It may be small, uncomfortable, has no roof. I have no idea where I'm going with this. By using /set_home near my house, whenever I enter /home, I get teleported right in front of my doors. Now I can visit my tiny shack whenever I want. By using the command /trust, I was also able to give Krua the role of recruit, so he has the perms to place and destroy blocks within the Spicy Town chunk. To speed up our progress, we also asked this guy Minecraft is Life to help us. After he agreed, I made him a recruit. Then he even gave us a bunch of shovels to clear the area with. With new shovels in hand, we started digging the foundation of our new town. Oh, and remember when I said I wanted a Poke Center and stadium similar to the town we saw? Well, I managed to get help from the one who built them, Harry. However, his structure went beyond the border, so he had to restart over again. I told Harry it was looking good. Only a few minutes had passed, but he already has something new going on. Now I understand how he managed to build all those amazing things I saw in his town. If you want to see the finished build, you can visit my town by using /warp Spicy Town. After that, I wanted to get some materials, so I did a small act of deforestation before coming back to the town. We can already see the consequences of my actions as the sun shined brightly on the town. More importantly, the progress on the Poke Center seems to be going very well. I gotta hand it to Harry. While marveling at the improvements being made in the town, I saw this Ponyta. I first mistook it for a Rapidash, but when I got closer, it really was a Ponyta. I brought out my Ponyta to compare, and it was almost double the size of the one I owned. Don't get me wrong, size doesn't matter, but the level does, so I caught him and replaced my old horse with the one that is level 40. With that, we may have fewer members in our team, but the team was stronger nonetheless. With the Poke Center coming along quite nicely, having my shack right in front of it is not the best look for the town. So when I saw Minecraft trapped in the ground, it was like the gods gave me the sign to appoint him to build my house. After helping him out of the hole, I showed him my house, and after making fun of it for a bit, he offered to build me a new one. Since I noticed that I got some keys, I remembered to vote for the server with /vote. With these keys, I can open crates that give useful items in making our team strong enough to harness the power of the sun. And with our luck, we got some rare candies and some money. I went back home and used Willy Wonka's special candy to evolve our fiery chicken Combuskin into a chicken hotter than buffalo wings Blaziken. With him on my team, you don't consume chicken because if you try, he'll burn you at the stake. But regardless, I'm glad to have him on our side. After evolving our Combuskin, I saw another Pokemon I hadn't seen before, which was Arboliva. It looked cool with the fruits hanging from its body, and it was the perfect first battle for our Blaziken. With only a couple of moves, Blaziken burned Arboliva to the ground and only ashes remained. After the battle, we finally see that the Poke Center was finished and it exceeded my expectations. We went inside and it was very well lit. A few adjustments could be made, but other than that, Harry was the right man for the job. I wonder if he'll accept in helping build the Pokemart for the town as well. Meanwhile, the guy in charge of building my house hasn't gotten much progress. As he looked confused, I doubted if he was the right blocky dude for the job. So I figured the next step in building this town would be to place the Pokemart here, the gym here, and the battle tower here. But then Harry suggested building a stadium, which was shocking because I was just thinking that. While the new Spicy Town's construction was ongoing, I thought it was a good time to train and get an EXP all, so I typed in /GTS and opened the GTS to look for one. I saw an EXP all being sold for 100k, and while looking, I happened to see some legendaries listed on here too. This is by far the best place to get Pokemon and Poke items, but luckily I found someone selling it for 35k and bought the EXP all immediately. I went back to Spicy Town and was greeted by an interesting Pokemon. Saw the Score Bunny and was planning on catching it, but someone beat me to it. Luckily, the guy was kind enough to give it back. I was planning on selling my soul for the Score Bunny, but he gave it for free. I guess there's still humanity left in this world. After that, I went to check on the house and saw no progress. I was disappointed with Minecraft and thought that he might need it to be replaced. Plus, he only started building when he saw me, so after a few tries of getting him to make my house bigger but failing to do so, I was certain. And since I run a tight ship around here, I politely and gently told him that he was terminated. I also rewarded him with a vote key for his efforts. He then went on to destroy his building, which was really sad because he looked really upset. But at least the foundations of the Pokemart were built well. I was happy with how accurate the building was. It even looked better than Walmart. Since I fired Minecraft, I searched for another builder with God tier Bob the Builder skills. Someone volunteered and I immediately headed to their town. When I got there, I was greeted by a large house with Winnie the Pooh on top. Not only that, but they built a massive Mega Charizard pixel art. What amazed me the most is how tight it was. Even the pixels are accurate. I then roamed a bit more and saw these very suspicious plushies. And I mean very suspicious. I asked this guy to build for me, but found out that the person who built all of this is actually named Baby Moki. So I then asked her to build the Spicy House instead. Now that I have found someone to build my house for me, I went back to Spicy Town and saw this guy with a Buzzwole and Greninja. Buzzwole looks like he bench presses a whole Poke Center. While very patiently waiting for Harry to finish building, I decided to try and level up by defeating wild Pokemon around Spicy Town. But then, Scorbunny started evolving and... wait, did he really evolve? Funny how after evolving, it's still the same size. Completely the opposite of Buzzwole, who looks like it eats a whole Pokemart stock of food for lunch. So we then finished the Pokemart and it was good. The outside could use some work, but for now, this will do. I explored Spicy Town feeling good, as little by little the town is starting to develop. As I was looking around, I saw Baby Moki's progress. She looks like she knows what she's doing, and I'm excited to see it fully built. I just know it will be amazing. I came across this 4-star Glalie den and decided to raid it. I asked people to join and assembled a team stronger than the Avengers. The battle was fairly quick and we ended up defeating it easily. After the raid, I was invited to check out a build. Guys, remember to never go with strangers, so with that in mind, I teleported to him. When I arrived, I suddenly got buffs. Also, this guy's place had a cool way of teleporting through rooms. Similar to the jump circles on Team Rocket's hideout in Pokemon Red, you just jump through these blocks and you transfer to another room. Lazy, but efficient. So after checking his place out further, I decided to recruit this guy, as having these teleport blocks in Spicy Town would make things easier and lazier. I went back to the town and showed this guy where I wanted the stadium to be built, and trusting him with the task. So I was roaming around outside Spicy Town when I happened to come across this Larvesta, a bug/fire type Pokemon. This should be a perfect addition to our fire type team, so I decided to capture him. Blaziken/Larvesta, and after 3 tries, I managed to capture this bad boy. Larvesta feels perfect for our team. I mean, who wouldn't be scared of a flaming bug? With Larvesta on our team, I was already pumped up, but then I found another den, and this time it's a Hypno. Naturally, I called for backup and proceeded to raid the 3-star den. We ganged up on this Hypno, and although Blaziken got folded, we defeated it anyway. From that raid, I got rare candies, which I used on Blaziken. Upon reaching level 42, Blaziken was ready to learn Blaze Kick, his signature move. Kicks hurt, but imagine one with flames. Yikes. If you want to visit these amazing maps and more, just type in the command /pwarps or /tpa and you'll be able to teleport to a player or location of your choosing. Something like this. This place is honestly really cool, and I was considering recruiting the guy who built this. However, my gut tells me that the one who's building our stadium is going to build something better for Spicy Town. After visiting the very hot and cold arena, I warped to Santa's workshop, one of the best builds on the server. I mean, just check it out. This place is so detailed and cozy. It's so cool, and I even met Santa. Had to get up out of there because I might get recruited as one of Santa's helpers, and frankly, I don't want to do that. I then went to the Ultra Sea jungle and bounced around. Something was glowing in the distance, and having watched enough horror movies, I knew I had to go check it out. It was a Glamora, a Pokemon I hadn't seen before, so my natural reaction was to send out Blaziken to fight it. Glamora then self-destructed, but we still won and our Pokemon received EXP. Then our Ponyta leveled up and suddenly evolved into a Rapidash. Our little pony is now a majestic stallion. While at Ultra Space, I saw weird things, like a bunch of rocks moving, but when I moved closer, it was actually a level 100 Gigalith. He may be too tough for us now, so I pranced around again and came across a very cute Choodle. Look at him, he's so small. makes me want to take care of it and take it to Spicy Town. So naturally, I sent out Blaziken to fight it. But its cute appearance was just a cover because I got jumped by 4 other Pokemon. I was ready to fight and use Blaze Kick on this Yamper. I managed to defeat a Choodle, but 5 Pokemon was too much for my Blaziken. I fought more Pokemon at the Ultra Space, including an evil looking Porygon with very rough edges. There's so many cool and unique Pokemon here, but they're also high leveled and I couldn't defeat any at the moment. But once we undergo the training arc and level up our fire type team, we'll be able to throw hands with any Pokemon. I also saw this chonky Bellabolt and decided not to fight it since it's so cute and, well, chunky. I happened to see a Toxtricity who most likely listens to Metallica, and a Metagross just floating around without a single worry on its head. Ultra Space is honestly a great place to train. I plan to get a lot of levels here so that when we come back into Spicy Town, Blaziken will be on the same level as Saitama and become one kick man. I then discovered this new biome, which is like a normal forest but with 0 gravity. And when I was exploring the place, I saw an Espeon, one of Eevee's evolutions. I also encountered a volcano filled with water and decided to go inside, which was definitely well worth because I found a chest with gold inside. Suddenly, I just discovered another biome. It looks like a snowy biome, but when I saw a camera up chilling here, I found it odd considering that it's a fire type. That's when I realized it was actually still a desert biome, just in a different flavor. Pretty soon, I decided to fight a 5-star den here. A good thing about the server is that you just have to ask for raid members and they'll TP to you, no questions asked. The den boss turned out to be a Cacturn, and this particular raid felt easier as the Cacturn was dumb enough to get itself trapped inside the block. After the raid, I saw a Darmanitan and I was thinking of catching it, but I think it doesn't fit with the team I have in mind. So sadly, I pushed it off the cliff. So after the Cacturn den, I encountered a 5-star Toxtricity den and raided it without fear. After beating the den with my raid team, I received an XL candy which I gave to Blaziken. I then returned to the grassy biome and immediately found an Eevee. I thought this would be a unique way of completing our fire type team, so I decided to catch it. I caught it after 4 tries and immediately went into Slash Shop hoping to buy a Firestone. I managed to buy one and gave it to Eevee, and it started evolving instantly, and finally the fire team was complete. This team is so spicy. I can already feel the heat in my Pokeballs. I was surprised there's a sock here. This place just keeps getting better and better. There's even a Rapidash here that looks like it came straight from My Little Pony. This place allows you to catch unique Pokemon that you can't find in the normal world. I continued my journey and eventually arrived at the Color Fun Sandy biome, which was a very trippy biome. I also found this color inverted Bagon, which was very weak though. I also saw a Growlithe, and as I was about to capture it, I get jumped again. So I got scared for Blaziken and ran as fast as I could. Another cool discovery was this level 70 Flareon, which could have saved us a lot of time and money if I had found it sooner. Or maybe that was just a canon event. Wouldn't want to mess up the timeline. But the most awesome thing is this Charmander facing the wall. It is obviously perfect for the team, so I decided to recruit this Pokemon and got jumped again. But this time's different. I was desperate to capture Charmander, so I spammed Pokeballs to catch it and it worked. I now have one of the most famous Pokemon right inside my balls. Now that the team is finally complete for real this time, I thought it'd be a good idea to show off the team we will be using for this video. We have Blaziken, Colossal, Charmander, Raboot, Larvesta, and Flareon. This group of bad boys looks like they'll kick some serious butt. With that settled, I figured that a den raid was perfect to warm things up. Get it? Warm things up. And so I found this Venusaur den and asked some people to raid with me. We defeated it easily thanks to the legendary Pokemon on my raid team. So after some heavy training, I figured it'd be a good idea to return to Spicy Town, just like how the main anime character always returns back to the village after their training arc. I was instantly caught off guard by how Spicy Town progressed from the last time we were here. Being in the middle of Spicy Town really made me happy. As I was letting the nostalgia sink in, a guy invited me to TP to him, and I really don't understand how anyone would agree to a stranger. So I TP'd to this guy and saw that there are a lot of Pokemon here. I figured that this would be a good place to train further. Then, by a stroke of luck, I spotted a Growlithe in the area. You may recall that I tried to capture a Growlithe in the Ultra Space. So once again, I tried capturing this Pokemon and it worked. We now have another member for our team. This is the real final team that we will use to burn the Glacier Gym. I meant that figuratively. We are not going to commit our person here. You cannot sue me. I also came across this very cool looking Honedge, and what else is there to do upon seeing a cool Pokemon? I threw hands with it and won. Can't be a cool looking sword Pokemon without being strong. After that, I came back to spawn and bought a Firestone. I then gave it to Growlithe and it immediately evolved into Arcanine. Arcanine's a very cool looking Pokemon. It's like having a huge lion as a pet that's on fire. Arcanine also let me ride its back and we went for a ride. I immediately went back to training and ended up in this icy area. Most of the Pokemon here are obviously ice types, so this would be the best training spot for my fire types. After training for a while, Reboot suddenly evolved into Cinderace and learned Pyro Ball. Pyro Ball is his signature move, so it felt reassuring to have a 120 power move that has a chance of burning the enemy. While training, I found the Sneasel with a cool looking texture I've never seen before. I also found the special Eevee, and while trying to defeat it, it slipped on the snow and accidentally fell, which led to an instant death. I feel sorry for the Pokemon, but I'm just glad that wasn't me. After that, I challenged a Boltund and was throwing hands when suddenly Blaziken fell. I felt like the ghost of Eevee pushed Blaziken as revenge. I returned to Spicy Town and asked my friend to build 2 buildings. One is the Spicy Gym and the second one is a battle tower. Since Spicy Town's buildings will be useful for future videos, the guy was happy to build it for us and we now have something to look forward to. I mean, who knows? I might become a gym leader in the future, so stay tuned. I came back the next day to check on the gym and to my surprise, the gym was already built and there were peppers at each side of it. Upon seeing the gym, I immediately rushed inside and felt the spiciness. There was a lava waterfall inside and the top really felt like a boss battle. I was really happy with the build. I now look forward to what the battle tower will look like. While I was strolling across town, someone had the nerve to challenge me, so I accepted it because I do not back down from a challenge. I felt a little confident because our team had finally been completed, and I was sure that I can pull off a win here. The opponent sent out a Greninja, so naturally my confidence went down because there is no way I'm going to win against a frog version of a Ninja Turtle. After that anticlimactic challenge, I decided to come back into the Ultra Space and raid a 5-star den. We raided an Ursa Luna den that looks like it had awakened its devil fruit. It was not an easy win, but we managed to defeat it as soon as its shield went down. I managed to get a decent amount of rewards this time. After that, I went back to Spicy Town and found out that the gym had been completed. The final design looked really amazing and it just matches with Spicy Town. The building looked like it was very hot inside and was very spicy looking. With this, I began to look forward to the additions we'll include in Spicy Town in the future. While I was thinking of what to add in the town to make it more, spicy, I thought of building my own dirt platform for the team to train on. It'd be an easier way of getting our fire team to level up without having to warp to different places. So I started building the dirt platform myself. When I finished the platform, I didn't waste any time and immediately trained my Pokemon. I almost forgot. Voting for the server gives you exclusive rewards, so make sure to always vote for the server. That's what I did, and upon voting for the server, I received keys that I used to open a crate. The crate gave me these rare candies, and I used them to level up Larvesta into Volcarona. We now have a fiery butterfly with Quiver Dance, the move it learned after evolving. While training, I almost forgot to EV train my Pokemon, so I decided to go there at spawn. If you don't know what EVs are, and you plan on making your Pokemon as strong as possible, I recommend looking in the description below for more information. I almost forgot to mention, I also got these tokens after voting. My team's levels increased by 20 thanks to those tokens, so I then went to the Poke Center to look at each of the team's past moves. Turns out there are some moves that could be useful for our fight against the Glacier Gym, so I made the Fire type team relearn them. I also bought some TMs from the shop, which I'll make the team learn for some additional firepower. I found myself at spawn, and as I was skipping around the area, I suddenly found a black Rayquaza and the legendary birds, but the birds here were the Galarian version, and it's always cool to see Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, but more so with different versions. As I hopped into the server, I saw this guy donning some wings with some cool futuristic effects. He has to be careful not to fly too close to the sun though. As if his wings weren't impressive enough, he brought out his galaxy textured Rayquaza. He may not have flown close to the sun, but he did go to infinity and beyond. He made sure that his Rayquaza wasn't lonely, as he got a galaxy textured Yveltal and Eternatus as well. But wait, there's more. He also got a Galaxy Mewtwo, Sylveon, Latios, Mew, and this majestic Rapidash, which made me wonder if its flames were hotter or colder than mine. There was also this adorable but also kind of terrifying Galaxy Mimikyu, an Umbreon which just fitted with its overall theme, and a Tapu Bulu and Finny whose texture I like more than their original colors. And finally, the last one they showed off was their Jirachi. There was something about its color and size which made it more cool. Just when I thought the fashion show was over, out came his dapper Empoleon who looked like he dressed to kill. Of course, there was also dapper Prinplup and Piplup who look like their parents forced them to wear their suits. Don't get me wrong though, Piplup looks really cute in this one. Running to the red carpet of Spawn was this dapper Blaziken. I felt like the Pokeball holding my Blaziken turned warmer as he got jealous of how stylish this guy looked. There were other fine gentlemen at Spawn that morning too, like this Dragonite. With their suits being dragged on the ground like that, I hope they weren't expensive. Now what made Dapper Latias special for me was that not only did it have a suit, but it also sported gold rings around its neck. Now that's how you show off. Everyone was cool and all, but Among Us Bidoof was absolutely the best looking Pokemon at Spawn. After that, I went ahead and relearned some moves for Arcanine and bought the TM Iron Head to teach Cinderace. Whoever is gonna get hit by that is going to have a bad headache the day after. And to drive it home, I also bought the TM Zen Headbutt so the opponents can experience Nirvana. Next, we couldn't leave our Volcarona in the dust as we went to the move relearner and taught Volcarona Fire Blast and Hurricane. Powerful moves, fitting of a powerful Pokemon. And lastly, we taught our Flareon Baby Doll Eyes. With that out of the way, it's time to show off the squad that will melt the gym leader's team. We have Blaziken, Colossal, Arcanine, Cinderace, Volcarona, and Flareon. A solid lineup despite being a mono-type team. I gotta say, I'm impressed of myself with this one. The goal before the final battle was to level each and every member of our team to level 100 if we wanted to have a chance at the Glacier Gym. With our team nearly there, we only needed a little bit more training, and we can do exactly that by paying a visit to our dear old friend, the Battle Tower. You see, in the Battle Tower, not only does our team get XP from the battles, we also get rewards like tokens, money, and rare candies. Those rare candies are what we need, and to get them, I had to fight different trainers with different kinds of Pokemon. I also had to keep in mind that the trainers here didn't have mono-type teams unlike mine, so I had to brute force my way into victory. Of course that meant I lost some of my Pokemon despite how big the level gap was between them. One of the hardest victories I pulled off while in the tower was when I faced this trainer and his Toxapex. It managed to take down 3 of my Pokemon despite having a lower level. While giving my Flareon some treats after clutching a battle, I was feeding him a lot of rare candies, and a message appeared saying that a Diancie spawned in a mountain nearby. After searching high and low, with the help of this kind stranger, I was able to find Diancie at the side of the mountain. But then I realized that I had a major problem, and that problem was that I didn't have any Pokeballs on me. Luckily, Harry came and saved me from embarrassing myself and gave me a Master Ball. So I went ahead and captured the mythical jewel Pokemon. I can't remember the last time I actually caught a legendary in Pixelmon. Events like these are super rare, and it's really exciting when they do happen. I'd also like to mention how helpful that kind stranger and Harry were in helping me find it. After that, I came back to Spicy Town, and I thought about giving away this legendary, but I decided to give away something else instead. The server recently had its first year anniversary, so I decided to give you guys a special gift. Once the server maxes out at 120 players, everyone in the server will be getting a free shiny Pokemon. The Pokemon will be completely random, so you have a chance of getting something really rare. Now going back to the battle tower, I only did a few more battles and then got out. I didn't finish them all as I used the rare candies and Pokebuilder for the remaining levels and got my team to level 100. With the preparations all set and done, I wanted to see what this team can do. And who else would be a better opponent than Harry? Someone who has been with me since the start and the one who has contributed a great sum in building the town up. As he first brought out his Cresselia, I Mega Evolved my Blaziken and damaged him first with Flare Blitz. He managed to heal after my first attack, and as I got Cresselia to low HP, it was Blaziken who fainted first. However, with a quick attack, Flareon avenged his fallen brother. When Yveltal came out, I thought Harry must have brought absolute powerhouses to battle, and I gotta respect that. As Yveltal and Flareon traded blows, I got lucky when I got burned, so I used Quick Attack to pair it up with the burn damage. However, as Yveltal fell, my Flareon also fell with it. Next, it was Harry Zacian up against my Cinderace. Two Pokemon from the same generation going up against one another. Shockingly, it only took 2 Pyro Balls to get Zacian to faint. Just when I thought Cinderace was in a dangerous spot, he one-shotted Spectra with a Pyro Ball. I hoped Cinderace would go 3 for 3, but the God of Time had other plans and sent Cinderace flying with a Roar of Time. Volcarono didn't let that slide as he retaliated with a Fire Blast. Harry's final Pokemon, Solgaleo, the living embodiment of the sun, was only able to take 1 Fire Blast and fainted. As anticlimactic as that ending was, this got me pumped up for the gym battle. As I ran across the bridge linking to the gym, the wind was cold, but my determination burned hotter than a Slugma's body. Inside, the gym leader was waiting as if he was taunting me to battle him. As the battle started, his Pokemon already got the first hit on me as I was faster, but with the momentum I got from battling Harry earlier, my Pokemon wasted no time unleashing the fires of hell onto his team. One by one, they fell despite the level difference, until I finally went up against his final Pokemon, Kyurem. Although Kyurem was strong, it was no match against the fire of my team. As the burn caused by Colossal brought it to its knees, I won and got the Glacier Badge. With that, I finally accomplished my goal. That battle sent shivers down my spine, but we finally did it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you want to play on the server, you can follow the instructions below or use the IP on the screen. Your love and support means a lot to me, and I will catch you all next time.